The Macabre Tavern Museum of Mayhem covers subjects that are of a sensitive nature. Many themes involve murder and cannibalism. Viewer discretion is always advised. The Rockefeller family is often considered the closest thing to American royalty. With an empire spanning over 3 centuries, they are one of the wealthiest and most influential families in the country. However, in 1961, tragedy struck when the young heir to the dynasty, Michael Rockefeller, disappeared under mysterious circumstances in what is now known as Papua New Guinea. Decades later, his fate remains a haunting mystery for the family and the investigators alike. Michael Rockefeller was born on May 18, 1938, and was the 5th child to Nelson Rockefeller. His early years were spent at the Buckley School and later at the Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire. He was an accomplished athlete in school and was involved in student body politics. This would help him attend Harvard University, where he would graduate with distinction in history and economics. He would later join the U.S. Army before going on the Peabody expedition to study the Dani tribe of the Western Netherlands, New Guinea. Michael was also the sound engineer on a documentary made alongside the expedition called Dead Birds. This is a film that would be produced by Robert Gardner. Rockefeller and a friend would leave the expedition to study the Osmot tribe, which lived south in New Guinea. After the expedition concluded, he would return to the Osmot tribe to study them more in depth and collect Osmot art. On November 17, 1961, Rockefeller and Dutch anthropologist Rene Wassing were in a dugout canoe 3 nautical miles from shore when their double pontoon boat was swamped and overturned. Their 2 local guides swam back to shore for help, and although the Dutch scrambled ships, airplanes, and helicopters to find the crew, help was slow in coming. After drifting for some time, Rockefeller said to Wassing that he thought he could make it to shore and find out why help was slow. By this point, the boat had drifted a further 9 nautical miles. They would cling to the overturned hull. They were worried about drifting into the open sea, making rescues almost impossible. Michael stripped down and tied 2 jerry cans to his waist for buoyancy. Wassing was rescued the following day, but there was no sign of Michael. Upon learning about the disappearance of their son, the then governor of New York and his wife would charter a plane to assist in the search. On November the 24th, the Dutch announced they believed they would not find Michael alive. On the 28th, they would call off the search completely. But it wasn't until 1964 that Michael was declared legally dead, with the official cause of death as drowning. The main theory is that Michael made it to shore but was murdered and eaten by the Onstanyep village. The history of this theory goes back to a couple of antagonistic villages. Onstanyep and Omansep were powerful villages in the Asmat tribal area. There had been a long-standing war. However, things escalated when the Onstanyep turned on the Onstanyep during an expedition for dog's teeth, which is valuable in the Asmat culture. Only one member of the Onstanyep tribe would get back to his village. The counterattack to this cost many lives. Not wanting embarrassment, the new Dutch government controller found all this violence unacceptable. And in 1958, he would order an attack on the Otsmanyep. They would burn canoes and confiscate weapons. The next month, he would personally oversee another attack on the Onstanyep. This time, it would end with several tribal elders being massacred. Part of the theory is that if Michael was to make it back to shore, he would have ended up either right at the village of Onstanyep or very close by. Being mistaken as part of the white tribe, which was the nickname the Oudtshoorn gave the Dutch, he would have been killed and eaten as an act of revenge, something the Oudtshoorn did not do on a regular basis. Another theory, which has almost been completely debunked over the years, is that Michael was already tired from having to cling to the pontoon overnight. Now he was facing an almost 12 nautical mile swim back to shore. During this time, he would have to contend with sharks and other saltwater predators, including alligators. It is possible that even in his exhaustion, he became easy prey to one of these predators. However, there's never been a sign of an animal attack in the area, and this claim has been debunked. There have been many documentaries made about Michael's disappearance, with many pointing to the Oudtshoorn village. Michael's father, Nelson, would continue his term as governor before becoming vice president in 1974, thanks to the resignation of Richard Nixon, making then Vice President Gerald Ford president of the United States. Ford and Rockefeller would lose the 1976 election to Jimmy Carter. During his tenure as governor, Nelson Rockefeller was a trustee of the Museum of Modern Art. He would hold that position until 1979. After his foray into politics, he would go on to found the Nelson Rockefeller Collection, which is a company that would sell reproductions of art. As far as Michael goes, despite claims to the contrary, no remains of Michael, nor evidence of what happened, has truly ever been found. If you've made it this far, thank you. And please consider liking and subscribing on the videos here for more content.